Hey boys and girls, how you doing? I myself am cream crackered today. Did not have the best night's sleep. So what we're going to do today is a bit of fun. I've pulled up 5 games that I've played recently. They're all I've been playing a lot of like 5-minute blitz for fun. I'm now kind of spending all my time in 1500 to 1600 range, and pretty much in both blitz and rapid. So I'm really happy about that. I've never been able to maintain 1500 blitz. I've only ever edged into 1500 blitz a few times, but I'm really enjoying it at the moment. Really enjoying the Kruger repertoire as black, and also I've been wheeling out the Vienna again as white. So 5 games, all of them in which I score over 90 accuracy. And the point of this video is just that it's the weekend, you can sit back, you can relax and enjoy, hopefully, some fun chess. There's a couple of Gambit tricks and stuff at the end, but hey, that's the game, and it's a game, and it's meant to be enjoyed. So sit back, relax, and let's enjoy. Okay, game number 1, 90% accuracy in this one. Okay, and white starts with d4, so I'm playing the England Gambit and the Charlic. Accepted, fully accepted, happy days. Nice capture with the bishop. And notice the d file is completely open. e3 is played. I always play knight c6. Bishop comes out. This is kind of annoying sometimes in the Charlic, because the idea is you want to castle long to get your rook onto d8, lined up with a queen. But then this move, and if you recapture with the b pawn, that can be a bit of a pain. So I'm playing knight e7 here, doubling up my knights, so that if bishop takes knight, I recapture with my other knight. He brings out his knight. I pin it with the bishop. This is all normal. Now, normally I want to put my queen onto here and then castle, preparing this discovery with check on the king, winning the queen. And that can lead to some quick resignations. That's not on in this instance. So queen d7. Opponent now flies out with his queen, which is interesting. I mean, it's not really attacking this knight. It's very well defended 3 times. Kind of maybe attacking this pawn. But I could, I guess, castle. However, if your opponent offers a hanging queen, I think it would be rude not to accept it. There you go. Now knight comes out. Obviously I can't capture the knight with my knight because that would hang my own queen. So off you go, Mr. Bishop, and castle. And he kicks me, but I'm up a full queen here, so it's just a case of playing good moves. But still, it's not always easy to win. Okay, so now obviously I'm eyeing up the c2 rook fork here because the rooks are both on the dark squares. That's guarded by the knight right now. He attacks my knight, I counterattack his because I want to trade off material. Thank you very much, we will trade off material. Notice that, I go in for this and win the rook because all these trades are in my interest, and that rook, the a1 rook, I got for free because I have an escape route. And let's hit the knight, which is guarding this. So the knight moves with a fork of his own, wins a rook, queen b8, getting out of trouble. Okay, so now, I'm only +3 in material, only +3. Okay, I now centralise my king. He solidifies his pawns, and this isn't looking all that juicy right now. Okay, so I win the knight. My knight now retreats. Bishop retreats. He trades off. He could have just won the pawn there. And now my queen, in fact here, this would have been just winning as well. Queen to there. King has to come up into the board. Queen comes up to the 7th rank. Grab a pawn, grab a pawn. And that's the end of the game. So, nice loosener. People rated 1400 guys hang their queens, right? We've got to have our eyes open for that stuff. Okay, let's look at game number 2. So here I have the white pieces. We have e4, e5, knight c3, the Vienna game. And this is the Zhuravlev counter gambit. Now what I've tried playing in the past was pawn to d4. I've done a video on this. And that just didn't seem to work out all that well for me. The idea is d4, if they take here, You can recapture with the queen. You then have a fork on bishop and g7. But the immediate queen f3 is kind of fun. And this is a really nice game. Okay, so bishop takes knight, and now I can recapture with the queen. My queen is now looking at the pawn on e5, which would come with a fork of its own. Right? Anytime that bishop leaves home, you know, that g7 pawn here, which was protected only by bishop, you have to remember the b and g pawns are protected only by bishops, right? In the same way that f pawns are protected only by kings at the start of the game. Got to bear this in mind. Out flies the Vienna bishop. Knight comes out. I solidify my pawns. He pushes a pawn up, preventing my dark squared bishop from coming out with the knight pin. So I throw f4. He develops, and we trade off in the middle. So now I have a slightly better centre. He's got his knights out in the board. I retreat my knight squared bishop. This can prove very important if your opponent castles that way. So it's a very common move. He castles short, knight comes out, and we trade off. Okay, now is where it gets fun. So I've just captured towards the centre, but I still have to get my king safe. The opponent now pivots his knight round to here, and I don't think I properly asked myself why did he play that move and come up with an answer for it. I was thinking too much about going on a happy attacking spree. So I played bishop e3. Now I know that if the queen comes out, for example, I can block it, okay? And the queen does come to h4, and I do block it. Then the queen comes down, now targeting the pawn on f3 that is undefended. And I go ahead and castle anyway. Queen takes the pawn, not forking the two rooks because they are connected, they're defending each other, so that's not really a problem. But this bishop is undefended. So what I choose to do here, I think maybe bringing my bishop up to here might have been maybe better. But I play rook d to f1, thinking that, well, that my rooks are invulnerable here, right? I'm defending the bishop. What can go wrong? Well, knight now comes into f4, and there is a very real threat. If you can see this, pause if you need. The threat is knight to e2 with a royal fork on both king and queen. We cannot have that, can we? So king b1 just avoids any of those issues. And now out flies the bishop, and the first thing that goes in my head is bugger, right? Because here's what's going on. The bishop attacks my rook. The bishop is a lower value piece than my rook, so it can go ahead and take and exchange itself off. I would like to move my rook to get out of the way of the horrible bishop, but I can't move my rook because it's the only defender of the bishop. So what can I do? Pause at this point, because the next move that I play happens to be a brilliant move. So take this as a puzzle and solve it. Remember, this is a 5-minute blitz game, okay? 5-minute blitz, and I think it ends with me with 3 minutes 50 on the clock. So very, very proud of this next idea. And it comes from the fact that the queen is looking at my rook through the bishop. So the queen's x-raying the bishop, x-raying the rook through the bishop, but the rook is also x-raying the queen through the bishop. So what I figure is, if I could move this bishop for free, I can win the queen because the queen is also undefended, right? I can't move the bishop for free right now. Well, I guess I could actually. I guess I could just, like, for example, I can move the bishop there. But then bishop takes rook, okay? Because my opponent is free to take the rook. Well, under what circumstances is my opponent not free to take the rook? Well, there are only a few. So if he stands to lose significantly more material than a rook, which is not the case, but the most forcing move, right, is check. So what I see is queen takes g7 check, a queen sacrifice. King's in check, cannot move to any of these squares. The next move is completely forced. King takes g7, and now bishop to d4, again with check on the same diagonal and a discovery on the queen, but it ain't over yet. King moves, I grab the queen, okay? So, material is equal, okay? And this is a 92 accuracy game, by the way, for me, okay? Over 25 moves. So I'm attacking the knight, I'm attacking the bishop. The knight defends the bishop, but nothing is defending the knight. So opponent now finds a bishop fork on both rooks, because both rooks are on the same colour. And I'm like, oh no. Okay, so I don't even grab the knight. I could grab the knight and surrender the rook. I don't do that. I give up this rook completely in return for rook g7 check, and now we get a very, very instructive pattern. This bishop, it must be noted, is guarding both of these two squares. Okay, so the king only has, let's put those in orange, it only has these two to move between right now. And he's in check, and he can't go here because of the rook, and he can't stay there because of the rook. So the next move, again, is forced, king in the corner. And now what we get into is a windmill tactic, where I capture the pawn, but it comes with check, right? And the king can't go to any of these squares. He's only got one square, goes here. What do? I move back with check. King goes back in the corner, only move, right? I grab a pawn with check, okay? And now, notice that the king can't go here, right, because of this bishop. So there is nothing for it other than to block with a rook. I take the rook, and that is checkmate. The bishop pair slicing through, okay, covering these squares, and the rook covering this, and it's game over. 92%. Nice. Thank you very much. And in honour of the name of the video, which is named after one of my favourite films, set and shot in my hometown, Sheffield, in the People's Republic of Yorkshire, England. Hot stuff. We got some hot stuff, baby. Okay, let's have a look at game number 3. All right, it's a d4. You know what's going to happen. It's going to be e5. Takey, 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 takey. Right, out comes the knight. Right. Oh dear, you fell in the bin. Okay, and we mirror the knight. This knight comes flying out, pretty much whatever happens. They bring out their knight, and out comes the bishop, right? Previously, I think I was playing this, and I think the computer told me off. E3, very commonly played, this E3 move. He wants to get his bishop out, he wants the castle. It's like, please be my guest. Queen E7, like I said. Bishop comes out, breaking the pin on the knight. Black castles. Okay, white here is feeling like he's just cracking on with development. Castles. Okay, and now what do? Okay, the first thing you have to do is remove the knight. Okay, it's slightly more accurate. If you remove the knight, bishop takes, and then bang. Okay, with check, discovery on the queen. Okay, if you just go straight in with this, knight takes, you take the queen. They can recapture, but the knight could come back and win this. But it is better to remove the knight first. Then the bishop comes in with check. King takes, there. Okay. Now, a lot of people resign in this situation. A lot of them will just go, it's completely lost. It ain't completely lost. White has got a rook and 2 bishops for a queen and a knight. So black is here only +1 in materials. Okay, so I develop my knight, also activating my rook, and here the opponent does actually resign. 93.5 accuracy, guys. 93.5 accuracy with the black pieces. Okay, and with a gambit. So, you know, whoever said that gambits are unsound, it ain't necessarily so until you get to high levels, okay, which of course we aren't. And let's get a short one out of the way, okay? Here I've got the white pieces, I've got an e4 game, and c6, Caro-Kann. If you've been following my channel for a few months, you'll know what's about to happen, okay? Caro-Kann, knight out, takes, bishop out, the von Hennig. Knight defends, f3 takes, knight takes, bishop comes out. Okay, and here we have options. We can have bishop takes f7, is actually the most accurate move here, but I decide to go for the owner of my queen line, takes the queen and loses by checkmate. 95.7% accuracy with the von Hennig, oh no my queen. Happy days. I cannot tell you how many blitz points I have won in the last couple of months with this exact move order. In fact, I can tell you because I can pull up the chess.com Explorer, and we can go to My Games as White, and we can just play the moves. Okay. So how many games have I played on here? Thousands. Okay, so we're looking at 10,000 games, just shy of 10,000 games on chess.com. This is all time. Okay, and Caro-Kann, main line. This is actually perfectly main line, and normally if they take, you take back with the knight, I believe, but we don't do this, we play this. And look at this, if knight f6, I'm winning 75% of the time. Okay, I play f3, we're now 76% of the time. They nearly always take 79% of the time, we win. Okay, knight takes, and then bishop g4 is the most common move, played 25 times out of 30 to 42, is it? And out it comes, the bishop comes out to here, and then after knight to e5 is actually my most effective move with an 89% win rate. I've only lost once from this position, okay? And the most common move, played 8 times out of 18, they will just take here, right, which loses. Bishop e6 is the best move here, by the way, okay? And I've had one weird one with queen c8. Queen c8 actually gives the king an escape square on d8. That's the issue. Yeah. But yeah, if they take 100% win rate, and there we go. Okay, final one. Are you ready for the big one? Yeah. I want some hot stuff. Okay, 100%. The 100% proof Tasters Collection. E4, E5. Okay. Vienna Gambit invitation, Vienna Gambit, declined with the knight. This is already inaccurate from black. Why? Right? A lot of people will play this. They think, well, bringing both knights out can't go wrong. What can possibly go wrong? Well, f takes e5, knight takes the Vienna Halloween line, knight retreats, push, queen blocks. Uh-oh. And at this point, little bells should start ringing and little flags should start flying and the mariachi band should be warming up. Okay, we go queen e2. Okay, I don't need to tell you that these are the best moves because it's 100% accuracy. Knight has to retreat. Okay, so the point of this move is the queen is pinning this pawn so that the pawn cannot take the knight. And what we do is we simply unpin the pawn. So now the pawn can legally take the knight because it's not check anymore. So off goes the knight, and then I here play knight to f3, right? It defends both of these pawns. The move knight to d5 must come very soon, and they screw it up really bad. d6 is horrible here, okay? Knight comes in attacking the queen, okay? Point is, d6 gives my pawn a reason to jump off the e-file. Right, there's no knight there anymore, but now you can have this, okay? Queen goes back here, because the queen has to defend c7, which would come with a fork on king and rook, yeah? So the queen slides to one side, e takes d6 is check, discovered check, right? And this really is a world of pain, right? King comes here, d takes c7, check again, right? The king cannot move to either of these squares because the queen guards, right? So I believe the only legal move here would actually be queen takes pawn. My opponent here resigns and I celebrate a 100% accuracy game. Absolutely lovely. And by the way, if the queen does take there, check here. How is that not checkmate? What am I missing? How is that not checkmate? Let's switch lines on because this is confusing. Oh yeah, because the king can take my queen. Okay, that's fine, I get it, right? But we can simply take their queen is the best move, knight takes c7 is the best move, and we are plus like 12 at least here, after 11.5 after king takes, and it's a very easy win from that point, but there you go. very happy days. It's a game. It's meant to be enjoyed. I've enjoyed going through these games. I hope you've enjoyed them just as much as I have. Thank you for sharing my hot stuff with me. And keep enjoying your chess, guys. Take care. See you soon.